Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to this session on multi-cloud with Dell Technologies. I'm sure you're having a great time with the event so far, and I hope to give you a bit more perspective into how Dell Technologies can help you in your multi-cloud journey. My name is Sukumar Umapati. I'm part of Dell Technologies Field City organization. I am an enterprise architect and help customers build their digital transformation journey and align their business goals and the transformation that they're looking at and how technology can help them move forward. In today's discussion, I am going to talk about what is Dell Technologies' viewpoint on the multi-cloud and how an organization that is probably in the path of multi-cloud or beginning in their journey should look at strategizing their multi-cloud overall so that the common challenges that many organizations have had in the past are able to overcome in the new strategy. So what does every organization look at? If you look at, we all try to serve our internal employees, have them do their job better with the right amount of tools that are required for them to work with. Right. It also is important that the business is in the speed at which the business is moving, and we are able to align it with the IT capabilities, because IT typically has been considered to be a burden where we are not able to move at the speed at which the business typically would want to move. Gone are the days that we can wait for multiple months to be able to provision resources for new business ideas, right? We need to be quick and we need to be able to move fast. Similarly, whatever investments that an organization does with respect to cloud or with respect to any other infrastructure, how do we make the most out of it? How do we ensure that there are better benefits driven out of that rather than spending more and more time to manage or optimize it? Right? So these are typically some of the key challenges or expectations that organizations that we have discussed with in the past have told us. And I'm sure some of this will align with you and possibly all of them as well. And in today's discussion, we will discuss about how all of this are important and how do you, as an critical decision maker within your organization and a leader for the future of your digital transformation, how do you align your ideas with what is happening in the technology and how do we map them together? With respect to a lot of organizations which evolved into adopting cloud a few years back, cloud first, public cloud first. I'm sure you have all heard about these terms. And this basically meant that public cloud offers many advantages, right? It basically is extremely easy for anybody to kickstart their operations in the cloud, because all you need is a very small investment, and that is again based on consumption, right? So it is cost effective to start with. It allows you to scale on demand, which is really important for many organizations, because you can start as small as you want and grow as big as you want, right? And you are literally not needing to manage any of this IT infrastructure, thereby reduces the burden of your organization. Of course, not everything is rosy, all right? There are some challenges which many organizations have come across. All of us have come across this, and we know that cloud is not always the right spot, public cloud again, to have all your workloads, right? So there are a lot of security concerns. There are controls that you lose when you move to cloud, because availability or, for example, access controls, many of them is not determined 100% by you, right? And bigger challenge for organizations after a few months to maybe a year or so is the amount of money that they spend on cloud. The cost becomes extremely unpredictable, because as you begin, you probably have a few services that you consume, and as time progresses, many of them try to leverage all the other services that are available. They are interconnected, and all of them add to different cost parameters within the bill, and ensure if you look at the overall bill becomes a little bit beyond what they expected initially, right? And of course, on-premises infrastructure has its own good and bad, right? So we have all had this in the past many years. while you get all the control and security and dedicated infrastructure for your workloads, it is not as fast in the past, and you typically had a lot of lag in terms of the time it takes for you to provision new resources, and it also comes up with a huge burden in terms of technology that you're looking at, with a cost that you need to pay upfront, right? So in reality, it is something that you cannot avoid. You would have to have both public and private cloud, the benefits of both of them, and try to eliminate the challenges in both of them, right? So what we have heard most customers talk about is always a combination of both. You would identify some workloads which are best suited for public cloud and some which possibly are better suited on a private cloud. At this point of time, probably it is a good idea to look at and see how do you get a best balance out of it. For your organization, it could be more private cloud and less public cloud, or it could be the other way around, right? It's up to an organization and the workload demand that determines where the application should really run about, right? And when we start about a hybrid cloud infrastructure where there is a public cloud and where there is a private cloud, and workloads are decided to put on whichever cloud it works best, right? It is not as easy as we see here, right? As you would imagine, the different teams, different organizations, different entities within the organization soon tend to acquire assets out of different public clouds based on their demands, their needs, their speed and agility that they need, and maybe the services that happen. How often do we see a line of businesses start operations in a new public cloud that is expected to be cheaper or expected to deliver a service better, right? IT is never the single point of contact anymore, right? So because IT is facilitating certain amount of infrastructure, but public cloud does not go through IT. So thereby, the limitation or the challenge that every organization come across is this creates a lot of silos, a lot of management complexities, create security vulnerabilities within, and shadow IT, right? So this is a very, very thought about term which most CIOs today look to solve, because not every expense that an organization spends from an IT point of view goes through one single P&L. It is going to go through multiple ways, and there is no way to really estimate the overall spend for the organization. Similarly, when you go through expansions, when you go through mergers and acquisitions, you tend to get more and more other heterogeneous infrastructure that comes along with you. So how do you ensure that all of them work together? It is not as easy, right? So each of these different clouds that you might end up having, be it a private cloud, be it a public cloud, multiple public clouds. So we are living in a world of multiple clouds, right? So each of them have their own management, their own tools, their own security postures, their own ways of working, right? And each of them have a different cost structure attached to it. And how do you ensure that you are able to know where what is being consumed and what assets are being consumed and how much of money you're spending, and is it the right place to run your workload, right? This is always a question in every organization. How sure are you that the workload is running in the right cloud? So how secure it is, right? And it is not as easy as well for you to move workloads between the different clouds. What you've created on, say, for example, in AWS does not seamlessly work on a, say, Azure, or vice versa with GCP, right? As organizations tend to evolve, you also really consume some of the services which are native to that public cloud. You also end up getting more and more locked in to the kind of services that are being offered there. Now, if you are able to do this, or if you are in a situation like this at this point of time, where complexity in terms of management, the silos that are there, security postures that are not necessarily the way you would want to, it is not the right place to be in, and this is not always the best way forward, right? So not every organization have to be like this, right? If you are able to, if you are in a maybe a few steps behind this kind of a complexity, and you know for sure your organization is getting into this path, there are better ways to do it, right? So what can IT do? IT needs to facilitate the interaction between multiple clouds, a sort of a place where the services that you need are being delivered, whether it is on premises, whether it is a public cloud, or whether it is multiple public clouds, you have a common set of control, the security, the ability to have the cost under control, and at the speed that the business needs. So this way, you're able to drive a better outcomes out of the investments that you are doing in the public cloud. So what if you are in a position to develop your application once and decide to run it wherever you would want to? It could be on a public cloud, it could be on many public clouds, or it could be on a private cloud, right? So in terms of ability to run all of this wherever you would need to, without really having to redo the application development or testing or quality or anything, right? How good would that be if you are able to have a common management, whether it is a virtualized workload, whether it is a containerized workload, whether it is a monolith or a cloud native workload, if you're able to manage them all together, right? This eases a lot of challenges that we discussed about in the past few slides, right? What if you are able to have a common viewpoint in terms of which assets are being utilized where and how much of it is getting consumed, how much can be optimized, right? Also, an ability to have data that you can leverage from multiple clouds while you're consuming all the services of those public cloud services, you are ensuring that your data is extremely safe. You are able to use that data to do much more while leveraging all the services that those public clouds offer, but with all the control and security that you would need, right? So in essence, if you really look at, you are avoiding all sorts of data movement time and the cost that is involved from data egress and so many other things, which thereby helps your organization be in control of your data at all point of time while moving at the speed that the business needs. So with having a consistent operation, consistent cloud fabric across multiple clouds, you will be able to get the full benefit of the cloud, multiple clouds here, and be able to move at the speed that the business would need to, right? So what does Dell Technologies offer here? We offer you the best possible cloud experience that you can look at across public clouds, across on-premises cloud, across edge environments. So wherever your application workloads are running, be it the edge, at the core, or the cloud, and multiple clouds, you have a consistent cloud fabric that we are able to give you, which ensures that your workloads are always in the right hands, and you can choose to run it at any place at any point of time. So if your question is my workload running in the right cloud? The answer will be always an yes with Dell Technologies. We offer a lot of capabilities to help you move towards that with advanced support services that we can deliver, a healthy partner ecosystem that we have built to be able to help you in this path, and with all the other capabilities that we have always been known for, secure supply chain and sustainable technology capabilities that we have built over time. So we are able to help you get a better cloud experience with Dell Technologies. So how do we really do that, right? So if you look at a typical use case of maybe a virtual machines, right, virtualized environments with VMware, you would have an ability to seamlessly use the public cloud, be it an Azure, be it a AWS, be it Google, right, or any of the other 4,000 plus cloud service providers that we work with. We are able to transparently, seamlessly move your workloads between the cloud. This could be for your burst capabilities that you're looking at, or this could be for your DR as a service, for example, right? What is the benefit you get with this? One common tool set for you to be able to use, right from on-premises to any of these clouds. One single way to manage all of them, one single console to manage, one single security posture that you set, one single way to access and monitor and ensure that the workloads can be moved between any of these public clouds and on-premises as well at your will, at a click of a button, right? This is extremely simple, and this is possibly the only way for you to be able to do a true multi-cloud situation without having all the complexities that you typically would come across when there are multiple clouds involved, right? With respect to if you are lot of predominantly a Windows kind of environment, and you would want to have Azure. We have working engagement with Azure to be able to do cloud adjacency model where you could leverage the Microsoft Azure's cloud capability on many of the services that you would do, where the express route connects to the data center provider who would provide you an very low latency up to 1.2 millisecond kind of a latency with no data egress cost. This is extremely important. If you look at, you are able to run or move data between your on-premises to a public cloud without incurring a lot of cost, right? And you are able to get all the benefits of the services that a public cloud is offering while you have the 100% control on your data. This is extremely important for any organization where data sovereignty requirements, the laws of the land, which are required to keep data within a particular boundaries of the nation, right? Or any financial organization which is looking at keeping the data in their control without storing it on a public cloud. Many of those situations, this is a fantastic solution that we have seen many customers leverage. And Faction could be one of the cloud service providers. There could be many like Equinix and so many others who are, depending upon the availability within your particular region, we can work that out with you. And the benefit with Dell Technologies is you're able to leverage the same tool sets that your team have been used to in the past and send data, replicate data, right? Protect data, all of them the same way while you still leverage public cloud like Azure. And with other cloud vendors as well, for example, AWS or an Azure or a GCP, you are able to do the same thing with very strong interconnects and a very low latency. Thereby, you can use the same data that you're storing, say, for example, in this data center provider, that can be accessed by multiple clouds simultaneously. Thereby, you eliminate the need to move huge amount of data between different clouds, which is time consuming, which is cost involved, and poses a great security threat, right? So you can avoid all of those with this cloud agency model that we can build for you. Similarly, protecting the data is extremely critical in these days when we are talking about cyber resiliency requirements. Every other organization is worried about how or when there could be an attack on their data because we are moving more and more digital, right? How do you protect your data against such situations? How do you protect your data against accidental deletions, accidental errors that could happen, right? Or it could be unintentional deletion as well, right? Or any of those malware that could attack you. So how do you protect your data, whether it is on the edge, whether it is on the core or any of the clouds, right? You will be able to use the benefits of Dell Technologies capabilities to do data protection on the cloud, right? In the cloud as well as to the cloud. What does it mean? If your workloads are running on, say, AWS or Azure or GCP, you can back up that environment to Dell Technologies data protection solution sitting within the cloud, which also means you could take a backup of your AWS infrastructure to GCP or Azure infrastructure to AWS or any other way combination you can look at, right? Similarly, you can also back up your content within your on-premises and have the data replicated to a public cloud, again, to take care of your disaster recovery in case of your primary center fails, right? So there are many ways in which you can implement this. The idea being you're able to protect your data wherever it is. And it is a common set of tools that you would use, whether it is running on public cloud or on premises. The tool sets, the view, the integration, all of them are absolutely the same. Right? If you are predominantly looking at very high analytics kind of capabilities and probably using Google Cloud for your workloads, we have been able to align with Google Cloud to deploy our infrastructure, which gets consumed through the Google the screens that you would typically use, and at the same time you are able to get all the best performance and capabilities that Dell Technologies PowerScale can offer to you. PowerScale, as many of you might know, is the industry's fastest and the most scalable uh, file system that is available, which gives you tremendous amount of throughput. Uh, Whenever you're looking at very large data lakes, whenever you're looking at very massive amount of data that you want to do analyze or to do preparation, etc., power scale sort of becomes a de facto there. And if you are having a data lake on premises and you want to be able to leverage cloud, this is the best way to look at it, because between the native power scale on premises to your power scale on the, say, a Google Cloud, you're able to replicate their data. Thereby, you can leverage all the best possible services available within Google Cloud as if they are connected directly to your on-premises data. Thereby, you get benefit of both the worlds with Dell Technologies. So whenever you're looking at uh, this kind of a transformation, we discussed about some of the needs or the wants of an organization, right? With this kind of capabilities that we just showcased in the past few slides, you will realize that we are able to do the best possible tool sets that your organization needs, and you are able to create an application set that can work everywhere, but you just have to build once, right? And in terms of protecting your data, right, wherever it is, you are able to take care of it in best possible control that you would want to, right? So the ideal strategy that most organizations look for is something that Dell Technologies can offer, right? Be it the developer set tool sets that you would need, the things that they are familiar already with based on the on-premises solutions that they probably are already using, right? You are able to get rid of the management and the complexities that happen when it comes to multiple clouds. And for anybody who is really interested in uh, ensuring that the IT is moving at the speed of business, you are able to handle all of them and also save a lot of money. As per a Forrester report that looked at the different uh, situations and what Dell Technologies can offer, the solutions that we are offering can actually pay back for itself in about 6 months. So it is literally in 6 months, 6 months period, you are able to get back your investment that you make towards building a proper cloud strategy. And you're also able to save a lot of money. We are talking about upwards of $350,000 over a period of 3 years. If you are able to deploy a proper hybrid multi-cloud strategy that gives you an ability to have a common, consistent cloud fabric across on-premises and multiple cloud infrastructures. So Dell Technologies partners evolve, and we have started with over 4,000 cloud partners we have been able to work with. And what this means is wherever you might be, you have somebody that can work with you and help you in your workload. And Dell Technologies is expanding this as we move. So we would, it's more likely that you would find somebody already there. If not, and if you find somebody who's not in this list, and we will be happy to work with them as well. And the common names, obviously, AWS, Azure, Google's, all of them are anyways part of that. We are talking about 4,000 plus more. As Dell Technologies, our capabilities not just from building your strategy for you, right? We of course can help you build the right cloud strategy by understanding your workloads and understanding your business needs and see where is the right place for your application to run. We can always do that. Apart from that, we also, based on many of the feedbacks that we have got from organizations that we worked with, many of them want third parties to help them build or implement their cloud, right? So we can help work with you to ensure that your business goals are achieved and you are able to deploy it, right? So we can not just help create a strategy for you, we can help you adopt it. And when you are adopting, obviously you need to be able to implement it. You want to be able to ensure that your teams are ready, your processes are ready to be able to leverage the benefits of cloud. And you can also, if you are already a cloud user, you need some support from Dell Technologies to optimize or make the best of the investments that you have made. We are happy to work with that as well to be able to scale and to fine tune your cloud spend. So Dell Technologies can help you in that aspect as well. That's a quick overview of what Dell can offer here. And if there are any questions, we'll be happy to take it on the chat if you are able to put them as well. Thank you so much for your time.